Hello everyone, this is Tactical here and welcome to another episode of Battle Replay. So today we'll be playing as Chaos versus High Elves. And one thing to note about today's build is that this is an old build that I made back in the olden days of Warhammer 1. And I thought, hey, Sigvald got buffed, and since he's one of the key units in this build, I might as well just bring him out, especially with the recent Warhammer 3 gameplay announcement. I was thinking of playing a bit more Chaos, so here we are. We have a line of Chaos Marauders with some aspiring champions and Prince Sigvald himself holding the line, with some Chaos Warriors protecting the rear. We also have a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows here, and on the flank, these are the key units of the day. So the line of thought is having the Chaos Marauders and the cheaper infantry to hold back the majority of enemy box builds, frontline infantry, especially if they have elites and stuff. And then with the Forsaken, with their uh, powerful offensive capabilities, 67 weapon strength, with Frenzy active, 40 attack, they should be able to smash through whatever flank defenses my opponents have and get into the soft underbelly of their backlines and just rampage from then on. So yeah, 3 Forsaken on the flank, and in front of these guys, some Marauder Horsemasters just doing some screening to protect the Forsaken from skirmish cavalry and just other mobility and the like. As for the High Elf army, we have a pretty elite front line here, with Phoenix Guard in the center, flanked by White Lions of Thrace and Silvern Guard. At the back line, a whole line of archers and Ever Queen's Court Guards. An Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower on one flank, Fireborn on the other. Leading the army is Alario the Radiant. She'd be able to hold back the Chaos Tide for quite a bit with that kind of healing power and dish some significant damage with these archers. So yeah, let's get a battle going and see how it plays out. Right at the beginning of the battle, the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower will be firing in, so the Chaos, with the lack of artillery, will be pushing in forward, trying to get an engagement as soon as possible, as the Horsemasters are now whipping around the formation, trying to get into the back lines and maybe do a flanking maneuver against the High Elves. And as you can see here, some Marauder Horsemasters are already charging towards the archers, trying to dish out some melee damage with that charge bonus. But with every Queen's Court Guard turning around, shooting into the fray, they are getting melted. But that also means that my opponent is a little bit distracted, allowing a nice pendulum going down the line, destroying the HP of these Ever Queen's Court Guards. But the thing is that didn't really kill off the majority of the models, so they can still have most of their firepower intact, and as a result, they are shooting in and destroying this Horsemaster, now turning back their backs and now shooting into a second Marauder Horsemaster, routing both of the units in a very short period of time. And yeah, some javelins are firing into the Silvern Guard, just dishing out some nice damage on these guys as they are retreating and having their shields turned away. And as for the other front line, they are now pushing in and meeting the charge of the Chaos Marauders. So yeah. And over here, the Fireborn are now trying to get around to the backs of the Chaos infantry line, but with the presence of Chaos Warriors with halberds, they can't really get that accomplished, as they will be getting in great trouble if they get tangled up in those armor-piercing anti-large infantry. And meanwhile, the whole left flank of the High Elves are overran. White Lions are now getting pinned down by some Forsaken, and now the other Forsaken units are pushing in, going for after these squishy archers, especially one Chaos Marauder unit who do not have any infantry to block is already working down one archer unit. The Fireborn actually whipped around and come over and broken this Forsaken unit with the help of some White Lions, are now moving on to the second little blob, charging the backs of these Marauder Horsemen, doing some massive impact damage, while the Chaos Warriors are struggling to keep up with the fast horses of the High Elves. While the Forsaken now are working down a bunch of archers. Now, basically the archer line are in tatters. These Ever Queen's Court Guards got caught by some aspiring champions, who are also getting charged by the Fireborn now. And in the middle pocket, the elite infantry of the High Elves are holding pretty good. Phoenix Guard are just holding back the Chaos Warriors with halberds, as now the Chaos Marauders are all gone and routing, while the White Lions of Thrace are now cutting down these Chaos Warriors with halberds. But yeah, all that's left for the High Elves is some archers from afar, Fireborn who is rampaging, breaking units wherever they go, and some scattered White Lions. Things are not looking too good, as the majority of their damage capability of the High Elves are gone. Only these Fireborn are left right here, desperately trying to just rout any scattered infantry they can, but the blob in the middle of the High Elf formation got destroyed by a nice pendulum down the line. These White Lions of Thrace got instantly routed, and that leaves only the Sylvan Guard and Alario in the surround of a bunch of very healthy Chaos Warriors with halberds and Prince Sigvold. And with being such a great duelist, Prince Sigvold is destroying Alario in melee combat. And the Fireborn are now doing some nice rear charge into the Chaos Warriors and now trying to break these Marauders. But the problem is, with the Horsemaster's presence, the Fireborn will definitely be whittled down eventually, as these guys, they actually have pretty good armor piercing damage, 8 per shot, and now with 3 units of these guys, albeit 2 of them are really tattered, they will be able to eventually whittle down the highly armored elite Knights of the Shurian. So with Alario surrounded and pinned down by 2 characters, she no longer could stand and hold, and with her death, even the elite Phoenix got broke, and that spells the end of the High Elf army. Now let's have a look at the post-battle screen. As you can see here, Prince Sigvold and the Chaos Sorcerer did most of the work here. Sigvold fighting in the midst of a bunch of Phoenix Guards and working down Alario the whole time, and the Sorcerer, 2 nicely placed pendulum, wrecking that Ever Queen's Court Guard and routing that White Lions of Thrace. So pretty solid work from the heroes, basically carried the game with damage. But of course, you can't talk about this game without talking about the Forsaken, who basically punched through the right flank and then start overrunning and pressuring into the back lines of the High Elf army. Basically, with their high speed and high offense, they ruin some Sylvan Guard and start pushing for the archers and stopping them from firing, because now the archers are on the run and in order to survive. And yeah, basically a bunch of Chaos Marauders held the line, just pinning down the elite warriors of the High Elves and allowing the mobility to dish out the damage where they can. This one Horsemaster got like 1,000 damage. Definitely some solid stuff, as they were peppering the Fireborn with javelins with their okay armor piercing damage, so pretty solid stuff. As for the Chaos Warriors, they didn't really do much. This one did a pretty good job in holding the line, just pinning down the elite infantry of the High Elves right after the Chaos Marauders routed, as well as just fending off the Fireborn, preventing them from routing the Chaos Marauders early. As for the High Elf army, the infantry didn't really do much work here, since they have been fighting Chaos Marauders the whole time. As you can see here, the Phoenix Guard only getting 800 value despite getting over 100 kills. So yeah. As for the archers, definitely not doing a good job here, as the Forsaken quickly punch through and start overwhelming the backline, getting into that soft underbelly of the High Elf formation. The only unit that really did some significant damage is the Fireborn, just running around, riding and running down Chaos Marauders, Forsaken, charging into the backs of the Chaos Warriors. But with 4 Horsemaster focusing down 1 unit, yeah, these guys are not going to have a good time, and as you can see here, they eventually got focused down and basically died out. As for the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, since they got rushed by a bunch of Horsemaster right at the beginning, not much can be said about these guys, as they do not have the time and space to produce that damage value. So that's basically it for the army performances. Now let's go to the unit selection screen. Now that we're done with the post-battle screen, let's have a look at Forsaken as a unit. For a damage dealer unit, it's actually decently tanky with 85 armor, can certainly take an amount of beating, but of course that low melee defense means that they're not gonna hold too long in a prolonged melee. But of course their strength lies in their attack, with 60 weapon strength getting buffed up by Frenzy, getting even more base weapon strength. Despite most of them being non-armor piercing, it's still a massive amount of damage on enemy units. So even if your opponent is armored, then combined with the charge bonus and the high melee attack and the frenzy buffs, yeah, Forsaken can basically beat a lot of, or at least do massive damage to a lot of low to mid tier infantry on the charge. And given that they also have 46 speed, really fast for an infantry. Basically, they can catch any skirmishing unit that are not poisoning them to lower their movement speed. And yeah, just a really good tool to aggressively pressure the enemy's backline, especially when you have 3 units like these. You can just throw one in there and pin down say a key enemy unit, and allowing the other to just go around, rush through, and keep going for that soft underbelly of your opponent's formation. So yeah, that basically wraps up today's video, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit that like and subscribe button to keep up with the latest updates, as I'll be uploading regularly with videos covering stuff like tips and strategies, crazy builds, or just general battle replay for Total War Warhammer 2 online multiplayer. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Lich signing out.